think one misconception I seem to run into more times than not when we hire these new electricians, I'll hear, I don't know if I can do this for the rest of my life. I don't know if I can be in a crawl space forever. I don't know if I can be in an attic forever. What's the odds of that individual doing that forever?
Well, the odds of them actually doing it for crawling in the attic and being in the crawl space forever aren't that great anyways, because they're going to progress if they're actually striving to be good at what they do.
Right.
They're not going to be there. I mean, you can be there if that's what you want to be, but the odds of that happening, either you're going to quit because you're too worried about it, or you're going to become good and you're going to be driving around in a truck telling people run 3 or 4 crews how to get their job.
Well, I kind of set you up with that question because it's like you can't really do the same thing forever. So it's like you get these apprentices and they're like, man, I don't know if I can be this guy's slave forever. And it's like, well, you won't. It's like a year or two. But when you're fresh out of high school or you're fresh into something, a year or two feels like eternity, but it's actually pretty quick.
Yeah.
So you go from, you have to start with low knowledge tasks first, right? You have to have that guy carrying wire, pulling wire from one end of the house to the other, or running on a shovel, because they actually don't understand. They don't have the skill set to do a higher skilled task.
Right.
Once they acquire that skill, you don't want them on a shovel. You don't want them on a broom. You don't want them in a crawl space. You want them in a panel making it up, or you want them making up devices, or I guess once they learn the language, our industry is the biggest part of it is learning to speak the language. I'm sure just through the course of this video, we've said 50 words that me and you take for granted, as far as like
that others aren't going to.
They're like, I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. For the good leaders, I guess, in the industry are the ones that have worked their way up, started in the trenches. Everybody kind of back to what you were saying. Everybody, when you first start, you're thinking and looking forward to that day when you're just in the truck or just in the office, because that's the glory days, right? That's what everybody thinks. But the ones that are actually the best at that job have been in the trenches, because they've seen it all. They've touched it all. They've been in the middle of all of it, and they know how to get through it. And because there's a lot of challenges. You can't build a book that tells you how to answer all solutions. In fact, probably most of our problems and troubleshooting comes from things outside the book. I was on the phone the other, just with Travis just the other day on a new situation that he was struggling with, something with some weird voltages and things going on. We talked through it together. It's nothing that I'd even experienced, and it's something that he had to kind of figure out. And so the guys that are good at the problem solving and learning that problem solving in the trenches are the ones that are going to be the good leaders, because if you can't help your guys, your team work through something, then what good are you?
It's that barrier to entry that we have that actually grants us the ability to charge more for our services. There's no shortcut. You can't just be like, I want to pay $100,000 and I want to know everything there is to be about be an amazing electrician tomorrow. You can't buy it. You have to build it.
You have to build
you
it.
can't, you have to have that experience and move through that, which is what really sets our whole industry apart. I mean, through that time frame and through that licensing and through that schooling, that's what keeps people, I don't want to say deterred, but they look at it and they're like, I don't know if I want to invest 4 years of my life to get this journeyman license. But then once you get that journeyman license, your pay is so much more than any other skill that can be learned quickly, because there's a value there. Right?
Yeah.
You can't just be like, hey, it'd be like, hey, I want to buy my degree to be a doctor. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no.
You're like, well, I got $1 million. I want to cut on somebody and I want to make $1 million. Well, it doesn't matter. You still have to go to school. You have to have that experience. You have to be trained under individuals. And although it kind of sucks at the beginning, you come to really appreciate that, because it makes you where you're not easily replaced.
You're not easily replaced, and you gain a confidence and a strength in your own mind of your own abilities, because you've got that training and that ability. And it's not just something that you can't learn it overnight.
Yeah.
And even if you could learn it in 2 years, there's so much that goes on with the theory and the actual putting things into practice that if you're not on site, not learning it, not in it, you're not going to know how to find the solution.
It does feel good if you, we're talking about the different sectors of our industry, right? From residential and commercial, industrial. There's also a service side. It does make you feel pretty good when you roll up and the old lady's so stressed and crying because her power's out or she can't get something fixed, and you come in and you fix her problem, and then you're a hero and she gives you a hug. It's like, man, there's part of that that's pretty fulfilling and rewarding that you don't get in other trades.
Yeah.
The service industry is pretty tough because you're dealing with the public, but there is some super rewarding
For sure.
parts, and it just made me think of that because it makes you feel fulfilled that you have that confidence. You're like, yeah, I can fix that.
Yeah, I can fix that. I've done that.
And even if I can't fix what somebody else did, I can rewire it to make it work.
Yeah.
Because I've been there and done that.
Yes, many times.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for watching. If any of this appeals to you, reach out to us. If you want to be awesome, come join us.